Hello everyone! Welcome back to the multiplayer server. I know I haven't done anything single player this week, the no health regen challenge, and I am simply acknowledging that with this sentence. Sorry. I hope to pick that back up real soon. I haven't been, especially once I started the multiplayer server, I haven't been particularly inspired to do anything in that world. But I've been kind of saving up some ideas, and I hope to unleash them onto you soon. Until then, I won't be placing torches for a while. Until then, I'm working on this. I had recorded some episodes, well, some material, I suppose, from when it was just this tower. That's why this tower is so, like, actually decorated, and everything else is kind of plain. This was my starting build. This is spawn, like, right over here, 0, 0. This was my starting build, and I was always a little unhappy with how small it ended up being. I wanted like a larger tower, like an actual tower, because I wanted it to be like a wizard tower, right? And when I was done with it as it is, I was happy with the scale of it. It looked good for its size, and I couldn't imagine it being any taller and still looking the way I wanted it to, so I didn't fuck with it. Because if something ain't broke, you don't fix it. So I built 2 more towers. I actually went through a lot of math to make sure that it was an equilateral triangle. Do I have that map on me? This thing looks crazy on a map, by the way. Come on. Okay. Thought it was in there, but it is not. It's not on the whole map, unfortunately, but you get an idea. It's an equilateral triangle. The central tower is almost in the center. It is 1 block, on this map to the right, it is 1 block east. So yeah, 1 block east, because this is a north is up map, as they tend to be. To give me more room in the courtyard, the 1 block difference is actually quite a lot, believe it or not. So, spooky noises. But I wanted to do something that wasn't exactly straight lines. Much like my little bridge over the river in the single-player world, except this is a huge triangle, and then 3 medium-sized circles, and then a pretty big circle in the middle. You're evicted. Oh. 2. Well then. The mobs around here are getting stronger. It is, that was the wrong button. Local difficulty is only 3? Oh, thought it was more. Well then. Apparently I just didn't hit that creeper hard enough for it to matter. But I'm gonna get some work done on the central tower here. A lot of it I'm thinking is going to actually end up being detail work on this bottom part, because I still don't quite know how tall I want this to be yet. Definitely not like something insane like build limit. Yeah, that looks good. But tall. I want it to be like a wizardly tower. Like full of books and shit. Wizards love books and shit. But I'm gonna work on this a little bit. And, did I fuck that up? No, okay. And once I have some progress, I will be right back with you guys. Hell yeah. Going to Mike's house and stealing his carrots. Going to Mike's house and stealing his food. Alright. Just getting the finishing touches on the roof of the central tower now. Hopefully this is looking wizardly enough. I think that's it. Everything is either... This, doesn't look right. Oh wait, yeah, I see the hitbox. Everything is either half-slabbed or stairs, so there's no valid spawn areas up here. Let's step back and look at it. Hopefully it looks good. Ooh. Okay. I like that. That's actually the shape I wanted. this gradual. That's perfect. That is perfect. So let's see it from farther away. Actually, let's see it from down here. That's where it's going to be most important. Yeah, that looks like a wizard tower. Hell yeah. Go up here. This is not going to be my home for much longer. Move into my new wizard tower. Hell yes, that looks good. Alright. Now I gotta work out where floors and everything and stairs and windows and such are gonna be inside there. And then I'll do, well, once I get those marked out, I will be back with you guys and show you my progress on the interior. Because right now it's basically just full of missile silo. There's nothing in here. I built this. I built a ceiling for the bottom floor because I want this to be an open area, but I'm considering maybe still dividing it into 2 floors. I've got enough room. And then, that looks really cool, even with all the temporary dirt still up there that I can see. I know it's there, so I can see it against the spruce. But, hell yes. This came out way better than I expected. You're not going to be able to just stand here and do this, though, in the final version. Because there's going to be floors with stuff. Or maybe I'll keep the floors around the perimeter and have the middle be kind of open. I don't have a ton of room, especially in the smaller tower, but we'll see. So I'm going to get to work. I'm putting something in here. And actually, come to think of it, all the towers but the south tower I live in are empty. There's nothing in any of them. So that might be something I work on. The preliminary testing for the roof of that. This looks great on the ground. It looks terrible on top of that, and I don't know why. So let me tear this down. But I'm going to do some interior decorating, or at the very least some interior architecture, just to get an idea of where floors and stairs and windows will be. And we'll be right back. So I said we'd be back once I had started on the interior. But, I was working on, like, a stair system, because I didn't want to do the column up the middle with the ladders thing again. I wanted more space toward the middle of each room. And, indoor stairs in a size like this, for multiple floors, you can see some of the remains of my attempts. They don't work. That's a good question. So I played with a variety of ideas until I came up with this. Linking the bridge directly to this floor. And having this just come in here. And then from here, a spiral staircase along the outside, which as you can see is going to necessitate not using the same kind of windows I've been using for the towers, but I'll come up with something on that. I think it's good to have variety anyway. But so indoors kind of come to a halt while I figure out the logistics of getting this working. And of course it can't be like the pathway I have coming down here. It's gonna need like rails and stuff. By rails I just mean like something at least a block tall to keep you from just wandering off the edge like a moron. And also they have to be slightly wider, I think 2 blocks. And then, so it's going to change the shape of the whole build kind of drastically. So, working on the interior is a little bit delayed. I also, as a result of this switch up in the plan, I think I started here? Yeah, that's actually, okay, I'm on that floor. It gave me a plan for this bottom room here. I hadn't really decided what I wanted to do with this, but I want this to be kind of like a grand staircase indoors leading up to the first floor. Sort of. Didn't quite work that out. And then that way it's kind of a cool thing, and might either link it with this, or I'm actually not quite sure yet. If it faces this way, it would kind of necessitate closing this this door off. If it was facing that way, which makes sense because this is kind of like the entrance, really, it would necessitate closing this door off, and then this doesn't make a ton of sense. Although I will have things out here like my stables, some farms, and a couple other things. Just fill this area with useful things that look like they belong in a keep of this nature. So it's there for that at least, and coming through from the west, I believe that is. Yeah, coming through from the west. But, oh, bye, Mike. But I don't know. This plan has kind of, definitely changed how I was looking at things. And it's definitely changing how I'm moving forward, unfortunately. Also, it's a very odd number of blocks to get around. So, the whole thing's just kind of strange. But you could see I had to cut through the window on that point and, get to here. I don't quite, I mean, this is the first time I've actually been, Jesus, this is the first time I've been outside looking in, so to speak. So I'm actually forming my first opinions on how a spiral going around the tower would look. It's actually not terrible. I expected that to be worse for some reason. I could live with that. I just don't know what I would do about windows at that point. Clearly, on each individual floor, you wouldn't necessarily be able to have windows on each side, if at all. Not of this nature, anyway. So that's something I'm going to have to kind of play with. I don't know. A whole lot more design challenges just cropped up on me with this decision. But looking at it from the outside, I do want to go forward with it. I do like it. So yeah, this episode will be titled the first official episode of the survival multiplayer series. So I don't know, let me know what you think, actually. I mean, I'm the one living in it, but you're the ones watching it, right? So leave a comment. Let me know what you think, actually. That'd be kind of cool. So for now, I think I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to fuck with it too much. I think maybe it's time to start actually focusing on some of the detailing that I haven't been doing. For example, like this tower right here, it's got cracked stone bricks in places and vines and mossy stone. I actually want to introduce cobblestone surrounded by cracked bricks in places to make it look really dilapidated. I've done that here to a degree. See? The bridge is mostly detailed. I'm probably went a little bit overboard, but it looks okay. It's got enough detail that it's interesting to look at, and that's the level of detail somewhere between this and this I want to introduce to the other two towers, at least get their exteriors up to snuff. But what I really need to get done is these walls aren't supposed to be bridges between these two sides. I want to have to, I think I explained this before, but if I want to get from, say, this tower to this tower, I want to have to go down this staircase and over here and either through there and up to that floor and over to that bridge, or if I keep this right up through here. So every time I come through here, it becomes kind of a tour of this little mini build here. Forces me to look at it. That way, the detail and all the time I'm spending perfecting how every little tiny thing looks isn't wasted. Because if you just dart across this wall, I mean, you don't even get to see the wall, right? You just see the top of it, which isn't even done. So it definitely needs to come up higher, and I want to either integrate it into the wall somehow or just make it inaccessible, or at least not particularly easy to just waltz over the flagstones of it like this. I don't know if flagstone is the word for the crowning going around the walls, but so I may even just bring those up one block, which would actually in and of itself do it. But I want the walls to be impressive, right? And then the bridge here is eventually going to have little miniature, like, let me kind of sort of build a prototype one to give you an idea. I want little, like, archer parapets made out of these things. Something like this, but then there's like cover on the sides, and maybe a little wider, like take up this full space in between these two, and have every third one or so, like 1, 2, there should be 6, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9? Why is there? So that's 4 and 4 with a center one. I thought there was. 6 and 6 are the center one. Okay, either way. So that would be... Then that one would form one, and this one would form one, and then... I'm talking out of my ass. That didn't work. Oh, this one can't be one because it's the middle one. Well, actually, that makes sense, actually. The middle one should be one. So maybe this one, and then this one, and then this one? Actually, I would want them to be farther out. I don't know, but something and slightly larger. Something you can go into to kind of defend the keep, as it were, with a bow and shoot stuff. Like I just shot. So even this will be slightly more imposing, at least from the outside, and give it a little structure to it. That treehouse belongs to Cody, actually. Rairaku. That's how you spell it. So, yeah, I have plans. But for now, I'm going to stay away from the interior of this because I don't really have the exterior tacked down in a way that I'm happy with, unfortunately. So, let me get to work on... I think I'll get to detailing... I'll do the north tower. I want it to be different but the same. I want it to fit in. It's old, it's musty, it's moldy, it's overgrown, but it's still here, it still serves its purpose. The lights are still on, and I'm still home. So I'm going to work on that, and hopefully after this cut, I have that done, and I'm not segueing into something else and apologizing for not doing that, like nearly every single cut of this video has been so far. I will be right back with you guys. And it's almost done. Waiting for the vines to grow, but otherwise that's about as much detail as I wanted it to have. It's not really going to be anything that I can really think of yet. Did some work on the other one too. I don't really know what I'm going to put into the towers. Like, the tower over there I currently live in, so it's full of stuff. It makes sense. But I'm moving into the big one when all this is done. So I don't really know what I want to do with these. I might turn them into, like, guard barracks maybe or something. Which kind of makes sense considering I have a prison underneath that one. So I might mirror that and have a prison underneath all three. Could I even, from the way it's situated there? So I would have to do it here, and, no, yeah, I would be able to have a prison under all three. So that's something to consider, actually, and then have, like, beds set up and, like, little personal chests and maybe armor stands. Yeah, I might do something like that. Good idea, me. As for this beast, another time. I'm still... I want to do the spiral around the outside thing. It's going to change it quite a bit. I don't quite know where I want to go from there. How I want to make it look. So I'm going to kind of wait for creativity to strike me on that one. In the meantime, I'll focus on things more like the walls and wrapping up the little archer booths. I don't want to call them parapets because that's not the correct word, but like little archer cubbies. Doesn't sound like a good word for those at all. But it's shaping up. It's definitely the biggest thing I've ever done. It's also the coolest thing on a map I've ever done. This thing is an equilateral triangle, which I'm pretty jazzed about. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't put leaves on the... I'll get around to that. It's just dropping a few leaf blocks around the base. I don't really have any at the moment to speak of. I think I have like 7. Last I saw. I don't even remember where they are. Yeah, none down here that I can see. But... oh, yeah, 7. Let's go run over there and drop off some leaf blocks, and then we'll kind of do a tour of the whole thing as it is. Something I kind of want to do after each major phase of building is have like a little tour of where I'm at and what things are looking like, so you can get an idea of progress as I go. And that's, well, shit. I don't know why I thought 7 would be enough to overgrow the base, but it wasn't. So I gotta get leaves. It's on my shopping list now too. And designing a staircase for the outside of that. So for the tour, starting here, I guess we'll start from the bottom. That door is okay. This is my prison. I built this just because I wanted a storage space for extra stuff. I clearly didn't really use it. Mossy stone left over from building the cells. I do, however, keep villagers down here. I haven't progressed your trades at all. That's unfortunate. There were 2 villagers. One was named Ted Theodore Logan, and he despawned, but I still have Bill S. Preston Esquire, who sells Bane of Arthropods 4, Unbreaking 2, and Smite 2 books. He is an underwhelming man, and probably not long for this world, especially without Ted. This dude, however, Looting 3, Depth Strider 3, Efficiency 4, and name tags. I like this guy. This guy gets to stay around. And a butcher. I'm on the fence about the butcher. I don't have any animals right now. If I had some kind of automated chicken majig, he'd have a purpose. Or if I still had like my huge flock of pigs, but I don't. So I'm really happy with how this room came out. I think I did a brief overview in my unofficial video, but if you're starting here, because this will be the first video on the playlist, I kind of wanted to challenge myself a little bit with this, and I have no easy way to show just how, but this area is the exact same base footprint size as the tower above. So down in this wall, if you dig up 1 block, you'll get the redstone torch lighting up the redstone lamp on this one. The back wall here, if you dig out that block, which I'm not going to do because I'm not going to get in there, you get the redstone torch powering that lamp, and so on. It is exactly as large as the tower above. The cells and the main area here are exactly 3 blocks of air, but with stairs and half slabs and alternating colors. I made this room look, and light too, that's important. I made this room look much larger than it is, and these rooms much smaller than they are. These rooms are also not lit. They're made of half slabs, stairs, and the bed. Mobs can't spawn in here because of that. There's no valid spawn area. And then everywhere that mobs can spawn is lit by these 2 torches. I actually really, really like how this build came out. It's very simple, it's very small, it's got room for stuff that I don't use, it's got villagers. And they have beds, so I don't know why they're complaining for being stuck down here. Unfortunately, it is a tremendous zombie magnet. So I'm constantly getting zombies hovering out in the lobby. Luckily, they don't go for the door very often. They just kind of hover directly above each villager. They don't pathfind through here. Armor stands. I didn't use iron leggings. I used dyed leather armor because a full set of metal armor, or iron armor specifically, makes you look like a big block of walking iron. I didn't really like that look for something that's supposed to look like a suit of armor, so I went with the leggings to kind of give it padding. I was considering the chest. I haven't really investigated how that'll look yet. I don't think it'll look better than an actual iron armor chest though. But 2 suits of armor standing guard over the prison, and of course a dungeon door, because that's what these spruce doors really look like. It looks like a dungeon door. It's the first thing I saw, or thought of when I saw it in the new snapshots. Base floor, nothing going on here. Some temporary chests and a workbench. Second floor, enchanting, the library. I'm not thrilled with this layout, but it fits in here and it works and it doesn't look terrible. And yeah, that's the best I can do with what I've got. Originally, I just had like a corner bookcase set up, and the enchanting table was, I think, in fact, the bookcases were kind of in against the wall and up against the window, and the enchanting table was like off center from the post, and I didn't like the way this room looked at all. This is a much better compromise. Still not a tremendous fan, but what can you do? Otherwise, it's actually very plain. I never really got to visit this room the way I wanted it to. Or wanted to, rather. This is the top floor. This is where absolutely no magic happens. I actually have an extra brewing stand here. What's going on? Oh, right. I had a brewing emergency and somebody was using this one. Or maybe I don't remember. Furnaces, storage, temp storage. You can see a theme with chests being dropped that aren't permanent. Oh, and I'm actually really happy with the way this looks from the inside. And the top is all either glass or half slab, so once again, mobs can't spawn up there. Pretty thrilled about that. And then the other two towers are just carbon copies of this one, just without the stuff. The wall, which I still have yet to raise up, but I will. And the main tower, which I wanted to make look wizardly, and I think I succeeded with that. Looks quite wizardly. And I think the spiraling staircases on the outside will help. If you've ever played World of Warcraft in Burning Crusade, or afterward, I suppose, if you revisit old content, I'm kind of starting to get a Karazhan vibe from this tower, which isn't a terrible thing. I'm not averse to this, but that's definitely not what I had in mind when I started. In fact, that was going to be it, and it ballooned into this. So, currently alone on the server. Mike left a while ago to head to bed, so I'm also going to sign off. I think I've accomplished quite a bit today. I definitely have a lot to get on with this, but for now, I think it's time to put it away. So with that, as the moon rises, the new moon rises, in fact, I will see you guys next time.